Borderline personality disorder. I really enjoyed making the last video about this stuff because kind of what I've really been trying to do over the last few months and what I really want to try to do in this video and more about this channel is just I really want to understand this disorder. I really want to try my best to understand everything about it and try to find a way to accept myself because it has been extremely difficult to accept borderline personality disorder and just honestly anything about it. Um, I've tr- I swear, I think every single day I've been doing I feel like hours of research, whether it's on Google or I think my entire TikTok for you page is just plastered with borderline personality disorder stuff. I tried to join some Facebook groups. I'm in like a Reddit community, all about BPD because this has been such a scary thing for me these last few months. For years, all I ever knew about myself is that I was diagnosed with anxiety disorder and depression. And I don't know why the ADHD has been a little bit easier to accept than the BPD for my brain. I think I feel like both would probably be tough to accept, and they are. I will say they are for sure. But BPD is kind of like some of the things I see about that, man, is like, wow. And I some things I'm realizing like, wow, that is me. Like that's exactly how I am. That's exactly how I feel. That's exactly what I do. And it really just I think the realization is what scares me because it's like a shock realization of like, damn, I've done that. I've been there. I've had that exact thing happen to me or and then it's just like with the other video that I mentioned, like the confusion aspect of not knowing where this came from or stuff like that and trying to find where it would have started or and I seen other people talking about how a lot of people go through like the blame game where you blame yourself for it starting or you kind of and I mean I do that with everything. I blame myself for everything day to day. I blame myself for anything that I deal with all the time. But I think one of the first things that you think of when you're diagnosed with anything is what could I have done differently to prevent it? Um, Now I know a lot of it is genetics, and we talked about that in the other video that chances are it had started some from genetics and been, drawn out from other things or certain traumatic things have happened that would start it, which I, would say that that is probably pretty accurate. Um, Growing up, my my school experience, I kind of want to do a video where I'm just sitting and talking about like my school experience and just growing up. And I think I talked about it a little bit in the last video. But like I had no idea that like ever since I was diagnosed with this, like I've just tried to sit back and just try to like break things apart as much as I can, kind of like put things like a puzzle together of like, okay, this is where this may have started, this is where this may have happened, like trying to like just put it on a timeline, you know what I mean? Like, and it's been tough because it's like I said, it's such a big disorder and it's such a big like this is like a realization of like wow this is what impacts me every single day and I had always heard about BPD but I didn't know like the ins I've heard of BPD before but I didn't know like how strong it was like in my opinion borderline personality disorder the name of the disorder doesn't even sound that scary but it is like I had no idea that this disorder is like the leading cause of offing yourself or like unaliving yourself. Like I had no idea that that was the leading mental disorder that like I had no idea. And I'm like that's scary because now I realize like certain other things too. Like I had no idea that this disorder is the reason that I do this, or the reason that I do this, or like it's just I feel like it's a good thing to have like a title to everything, and like to have like a reason, I guess, but it's so tough to accept. It is so hard for me to accept like I this is what I struggle with. Like, I feel like I always used to just chalk it up to I'm messed up. I am fucked is what I would always say. Like somebody would ask me like, "Oh, like," or I think one of the reasons why it was so tough for me is people would see me do things a certain way or react to things a certain way that I know now is BPD, but I never knew how to tell them. So I would just say like, "Oh yeah, I'm fucked," or like, "Oh yeah, like well, my head's fucked." Like that's what I would always just say. I would I would just say like, "Okay, well, I'm messed up." Like, and it would just kind of be like a shrug off type of thing, or I would avoid showing anybody anything, or like and just certain things like I think about the relationships that I had when I was in high school. Because the only traumatic thing, like emotionally, that I can even think of, because I said this in the other video, but I never had any childhood trauma like growing up ever. And that's what kind of like I think like I had an incredible childhood. I am super blessed to have the parents that I have, the family, the support system that I have. I'm super, super blessed. Where could this have came from? Where would any type of trauma have came from? And then I narrowed it down to like my high school experience, friendships, relationships, surrounding myself with the people I was around, going to school with the certain people I was around. I had a few different girlfriends when I was in school, when I was in high school, when I was in middle school. And I used to always think that my brain was older than what I was. I remember thinking that so much when I was in high school because, like, the thing, you get into a relationship when you're in high school, and a lot of people at the time should and probably have thought, like, oh, it's just a high school relationship. It doesn't mean anything, type of thing. And the way that I always thought about this stuff, and it was the same thing with friendships, like, I remember people in high school would always say, like, oh, yeah, I probably won't even know you when I get older. And that would hurt. Like, that would kill me inside to even hear someone say that. Like, I remember just trying so many things to like I would refrain from so many things to make sure people stuck around. And now I realize that that is like that fear of abandonment, that fear of people like like leaving you type of thing. And I think that kind of like circles around to like things that I deal with now, how I push people away because I think maybe part of it like psychologically is that I'm afraid to add more people into the worry of not um worry of losing them type of thing. And this goes with my Twitch and how I talked about before that I ran a Twitch channel for the last few years. And one of the biggest things is I was always so scared to piss anybody off. I have always, in my entire life, always been so afraid of making anybody mad. And I think a big thing is because I don't want people to abandon me, or I don't want people to not, I don't want people to have a reason not to like me. I've always been that way. And some people are like, oh, like, why do you care so much about what other people think? And I think the same thing. I'm like, why do I have to care so much? But I think it's more of what I just said. Like, I just don't want people to leave. I don't want people to be mad at me. And I never realized that until I was diagnosed with this. And now that I realize that's the reason because I have this, like, that's what's wrong with my brain. Like, and it's crazy to just kind of realize all these things. It's so crazy. And it's, like I said, it's so tough to accept. It's so tough to come to terms with that this is what it is, this is what I deal with, this is what we deal with, like this is what's going on in here. Like that's it's extremely frustrating and tough. And I don't know if I'm ever going to come to terms with it. I don't know if I'm ever going to accept it. I don't know if I'm ever going to understand it fully. But like I said, when I Twitch streaming, or making friends in school, or certain things in online, like I I refrain. There would be times on Twitch where people would be saying things, and I would refrain so much from saying things because I don't want to stir things up. I don't want to make anybody mad. I never want to make people mad. And I think that that makes me just like shrink like inside. Like I never want to make anybody mad at me. It is the most anxiety ridden thing for me when somebody is mad at me or somebody doesn't like me for some reason. And it is so tough for me to accept when somebody like doesn't care about me or like doesn't. And I think the fact, or like maybe not that word for word, but like doesn't, trying to think of the proper word, like not necessarily like doesn't care about me, but like doesn't, or like maybe goes from caring about me to not caring in a way, I guess. Like I don't expect everybody to care about me, but like I don't know how to word it. I'm sure if you guys are watching and understand BPD better than I do, um, you know, hopefully you guys know what I'm talking about and can kind of put things together a little bit better than me. I really want to kind of do like a bit of a series of trying to understand this disorder, and I would love for you guys to come along the ride with me because um, this is this is just so new to me and so, I mean, I guess not new because it's always been a part of me. It's just I'm just trying to learn, and um, I swear I just saw something outside. I swear. I think I talked about it in another video too, like the paranoia stuff and how real that stuff is. Um, I had no idea that BPD caused that stuff. I made a video and I made a short about paranoia and stuff, and there was a few people that were concerned with schizophrenia type of stuff. And maybe it's just my hands. I think I'm seeing like the glare of my hands in the window, and I think that's freaking me out. Um, People were talking about like schizophrenia and stuff, and I'm like, that's I don't think that's me. I don't. I guess I don't know for sure, but like I don't. That's some. I think there's severities. I don't know what the word is for that, but like severe things that I don't possess that would be more prominent for schizophrenic people. Um, and like I said, I had no idea that like paranoia comes with BPD, and I had no idea like some of the things that I get paranoid about. And I think one more thing here, like I don't know if anybody else feels this way, but since being diagnosed, I feel like I've been so, because I'm trying to learn things. I think I've been like ultra aware and like probably not in a good way, and I'm afraid that it's not in a good way. That I've been like ultra aware of the things that bother me and the things that, because I see it online and because I do research about this and I've seen other people's videos and I've seen other people's like blogs and like whatever, comments on things. I think now I'm like ultra aware of stuff that I deal with or that I've always dealt with and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So, oh my god, man. I swear I'm like hearing things outside, man. I'm freaking myself out because I know like there's a little like blinking light over here, and then like I'm seeing like the glare of my hands in the window, and it's like freaking me the hell out. So yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I really want people to come along with me for the ride on trying to understand BPD, understand my mind, understand our minds, and just trying to come to terms together. I don't want to do this alone. I'm sure a lot of you guys if you guys are watching this right now, don't want to do this alone either because it's scary, and you guys aren't alone. I'm going to be here. I'm going to be trying to figure this stuff out too. So, um, yeah. So yeah, we'll see you guys in the next one. Don't know when it's gonna be. I want to do more of these BPD stuff, stories, conversations. Like if it's like a one-on-one type of thing, like I'm just talking to you guys. If it's like a FaceTime, FaceTime video, I think that's cool, and that's kind of what I want to do is just be unfiltered, authentic type of thing. So yeah, um, I don't know. We'll talk sometime soon. Hopefully it's maybe in more light, not late at night like this, because kind of getting a little sketched.